Well, hi, this is Jay Arthur, author of Lean Six Sigma Demystified and the QI Macros. Now, every year I go exhibit at various conferences and I go around and look at all of the poster presentations. Now, I just got back from ASQ World and I looked at the team presentations and they're pretty disappointing, right? So there's a lot of dense text, right? And then there's more dense text, and every once in a while there's a little bar chart, or maybe there's a line chart, and then there's more text, and trust me, nobody wants to read your stuff. Nobody wants to read it, right? And there's nothing really showing an improvement project in here from my point of view. I think you should be able to look at an improvement project on one of these poster presentations and know instantly what happened. And to do that, you need charts and not line and bar charts. I will tell you, at ASQ, mainly line and bar charts. At the Institute for Healthcare Improvement, mainly line and bar charts. All right, so we're not using the tools of quality. So how can it be a quality improvement story if we're not using the tools of quality? So here's what I'd expect to see on a really good poster presentation. First of all, you need some sort of control chart of your current state, right? So if this is defects, it could be variation, but most of the world is in service, and so service mainly has defects, not so much variation. Now, these defects, if you turn them on their edge and let all those data points fall out, they should form some sort of Pareto chart. Right? So this is the big bar of the Pareto chart. Now, if you just stop at the top bar, usually you're too high level. You're going to end up whalebone diagramming. So we want to drill down into this bar, right? So somewhere in here is a smaller bar. But I'm going to take that down into another Pareto chart. Right? So this big bar becomes a whole Pareto chart of its own. And this, the big bar in the sub-Pareto, is the head of your fish. And then if we do Y, we're going to come up with real root causes. And I expect to see those circled. And then what we want to do is come back in and say, well, did we actually make an improvement? And so I would expect to see this line come down, right? I'd expect to see fewer defects. If you can't show me a before and an after on your control chart, then you didn't make an improvement. Somebody sent me their improvements project and it had all the right stuff in it, but their defect rate went up, which means they did not find the right root cause. Does that make sense? I mean, pretty straightforward. But anyhow, so you want to verify that you actually succeeded. And then this big bar should become a smaller bar. And some other bar should rise up to the surface. Right? So if you can show me a control chart, a couple of Pareto charts, a fishbone, and then how your process improved after you made your changes, that's a pretty good improvement story. And I can see it with 3 charts and a fishbone. That's what I think posters should look like. And I think, you know, if you think about it another way, if this was variation, then this would just be a histogram. And then we ought to be able to see a histogram that has changed, right? So we've compressed the variation or, you know, something to that effect. Does that make sense? Right? So we've got less variation. So our histogram used to be this wide, now it's this wide. That's all we need to see. We need to be able to see the before and the after, and we need to see how you broke it down, and everything needs to connect, right? So this is defects. This better be something about defects. And this is a type of defects. So that might be type A. And type A is our new Pareto chart. And within that, there's Z is our big bar. And so Z resulted in blah, 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 delay, defects, and deviation, unhappy customers. And the reason why is some root cause. And that root cause was fixed, and out came the improvement we're looking for. Now, this thing here at the end, that's how you're going to sustain the improvement. That's the control phase. I have to keep track of that. If that starts drifting out of control, guess what? I need some corrective action. I need a control plan. You might put something about your control plan in there, because otherwise this will just float back up into being the way it always was, which is a waste of time and money. So, does that make sense? This is what a poster should look like. It should not look like War and Peace with a few graphs thrown in it, because that is not an improvement story. Improvement stories are told with quality tools. So I'm Jay Arthur. That's my improvement insight for this week. Go do this.